Hello everyone, this is Aybars Go from PODEM. I will talk about the research that we have conducted under the framework of the Medreset project. PODEM was the leader of Work Package 3 Elite Survey, where the objective was to assess and understand the elite perceptions in the Middle East and North Africa region towards the EU's policies in general. We try to understand how the EU's policies are perceived, the effectiveness and the potential of its policies, in the Mediterranean region from the perspective of local elites. We try to understand what are the most important stakeholders on domestic, regional, and international levels, what are the current main geopolitical challenges, what major policy issues do the elites think that they are the most pressing or the most urgent ones, in which particular areas would substantial cooperation with the EU or other MENA countries can prove beneficial? Is the elite discourse in the MENA region resisting or reproducing the EU's construction of the region? The elites that we have interviewed were mostly among the decision makers, bureaucrats, business people, academics, CSO and media representatives, and of course young professionals. We conducted survey in 9 countries, including Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Turkey, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Israel and Qatar. In total, we have interviewed 169 elites within the framework of this project, and the main findings can be summarized as follows. First of all, the elites think that the EU does not have a unified and comprehensive policy towards the Mediterranean. The Union in general is not seen as an active political actor in the region compared to the other major powers like the United States or Russia. Following the Arab uprisings, the narrative in the EU shifted from democratization efforts, political reforms, and civic development to more like security, curbing migration to Europe, and counterterrorism efforts. So EU's response to the uprisings remains mostly under the influence of its member states, and it adopted an interest-driven approach. Perception of the Fortress Europe is still present in the Mediterranean countries, notably in the North African region, like in the countries like Morocco, Egypt, and Tunisia. Elites think that there's an asymmetry of interests between the EU and the Mediterranean countries. There are some key messages or policy recommendations that can be drawn from the elite survey as well. First of all, elites always underline that EU should work towards a single comprehensive European approach to the Mediterranean. In the current position, it is mostly nation states or the member states are dominating its own interests, and there is a lack of a general EU approach towards the Mediterranean. In terms of its security policies, EU can work to shift its rhetoric to one that disentangles migration from security. The European Union can work jointly with the Mediterranean countries to encourage social dialogue between the government and actors of trade unions to promote social peace, which would benefit the state, the trade unions and workers. To avoid a Eurocentric approach in policy reforms is always underlined by the elites in several countries. They also think that EU should ease bureaucratic technical difficulties for civil society exchanges within the Mediterranean countries. Strengthening institutional mechanisms and promoting good governance, accountability and transparency are the areas EU can provide assistance. More political presence of the EU on regional issues in MENA should be encouraged. This is also a very common recommendation coming from the elite survey. EU can work on a regional policy in MENA that protects domestic security interests and reviews current relations with its expanded southern neighborhood, including Iran, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. Elite survey produced 9 country papers or working papers at the end, and each country report gives a more detailed outlook to the issues that I try to summarize very briefly. All the country reports can be found on the website of the Medreset. Thank you very much for listening.